All right, welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Golficity. It's episode 104. We're kind of in the dog days of golf, but we'll recap Hideki Matsuyama's win at the ZOZO out in Japan, a little hometown win there, and then we'll also talk about the Bermuda Championship with some picks there. The Butterfield Bermuda Championship. We'll talk about how that's just kind of a not great name, and we'll also do the par 3 of best names in golf, and maybe also worst in there. We'll see. So let's get into it.
This is Jordan Spieth here, and
this is the Pin High Podcast.
All right, let's get inside the ropes. So Hideki Matsuyama, he took home the home course, not home course, but like home country win.
Home country. There
Yeah.
you go.
There we go. We got there.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, gonna be completely honest. I mean, it's hard to watch the ZOZO. Watch like 72 holes of the ZOZO because it's just simply like on. I see people's tee times on at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, very hard tournament to watch. Can't say I watched much of it. I mean, it's just on so late, and like the rounds finish at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., so like not exactly the best time to watch golf. Now, Hideki Matsuyama, we probably should have been all over him last week. I think we picked him for first round leader, and we did say something about like we wouldn't be surprised if he won, but like hometown event, or I guess home country
One of
event.
us should have picked.
Yeah, one of us probably should have picked
guys. Come on.
him. That could have been 3 straight winners, but is what it is. I feel like we were close. So.
Yeah.
I mean, all the rounds, like you said, finished before we got up. I mean, there was, I don't know about you, but I'd rather be watching football at 9 o'clock at night than the guys who just made the cut at the ZOZO. It's just hard for a tournament like that for Americans to watch, especially. It wasn't a bad field. It's a better field than this week, but it still wasn't a field that's like, oh, I have to watch this or I have to at least catch a little bit of it.
We'll watch when the Olympics are on in Japan.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Exactly.
But we're talking the ZOZO Championship. Great trophy. I like the ZOZO Championship trophy.
The picture of
some fun with it too.
Yeah, the picture of Hideki posing with it like in the middle, like that was pretty cool. And Hideki winning is, like you said, it's just
good for golf.
It's awesome. It's awesome. The crowd was very pro Hideki. Like I saw there was one picture of like him making a putt. I don't know what hole it was, but there's just a ton of people following him, like almost like Tiger-esque, like just following Hideki on like some of these holes, and it's just it's awesome that country is that far that well behind a player like Hideki.
I mean, yeah, the ZOZO has a pretty good track record now. I mean, it's been 2 times it's been played in Japan. I mean, obviously one time at Sherwood Country Club, but the 2 times it was played in Japan, the winners were Tiger Woods, which is just like unbelievable. Everybody follows Tiger Woods, and Hideki Matsuyama, who's like a cult hero there now, especially since he won the Masters recently. So,
was it Kokrak when it was in the U.S.?
I think it was Patrick Cantlay in the U.S.
That was the CJ Cup that it was Kokrak. Okay, because they both played both of those on the West Coast last year. Pretty good, yeah. And even Patrick Cantlay winning last year, like, yeah, it wasn't in Japan, but so far for the ZOZO, pretty good track record, like you said.
Talk about Takumi Kanaya. He's on a tear lately. It looks like on the Japan tour, hasn't finished worse than T16 since early August, and he finished in the top 10 this past week at a PGA Tour tournament. He's got to maybe watch out for another rising Japan star.
Yeah,
only 23 years old.
There's not a lot of like Japanese golfers on the PGA Tour at the moment.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need another one. We need a second Hideki Matsuyama, just kind of a young guy maybe to fill in his shoes almost.
Yeah, he's 68th in the world now. It's a pretty drastic position in the world rankings for a Japan golfer no one's really heard about. 68th.
Still, that's crazy to be.
That is crazy. Tour? Yeah.
So
he's like his finishes since August 22nd. They pull up again. August 22nd have been T10, T4, 4th, T16, T5, T13, T7, and then This past week was a top 10. It was T7 again.
Could he
Japan.
qualify for the President's Cup just based off that?
He
I don't know.
might. He's probably because I think because he played so well this past week and he finished T7. He's probably exempt into some PGA Tour tournaments. Like I wouldn't be like, or at least playing some just because he played so well this past
And
couple
what's his
weeks.
I mean, it's not like he came out of nowhere. Like he was the
Takumi Kanaya.
Yeah, he was the number one ranked amateur golfer for 55 straight weeks. So
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
not like he came out of nowhere. I mean, he's 23 years old now. He might be the next guy from
Yeah.
Japan to make it big. We'll see.
He played in the Sony Open. He played in the ZOZO last year again. Played in the U.S. Open and at Winged Foot.
2019, he played in the Masters. He played in the Open
I mean,
Championship.
the name sounded familiar, to be honest. So
Yeah, he's definitely making a run. It sounds like, so look out for him maybe, and like maybe if he's playing this week, he might be one of those guys who is playing really hot in a weaker field. He could make some noise.
yeah, why not? This week's the Bermuda, so it's like, I mean, I guess we'll talk about it in a little bit, but like I feel like that's just people who can play in the wind are gonna play well there.
Yeah, the course is so short, like incredibly short.
Unfortunately, I don't believe he's playing this week.
He's not. I just looked too. But we'll see him soon, I'm sure.
Right. And speaking of this week, we got someone making their debut on the PGA Tour. Was there our People's Champ of the Week? You want to get into that, Jeek?
Yeah, so People's Champ of the Week. I saw this recently. I think it came out yesterday. Brian Morris, who's a local pro in Bermuda. He actually has stage 4 cancer, but he'll be making his PGA Tour debut this week at the age of 53. Really cool story on the PGA Tour website. Just kind of like talking about like how like he doesn't really get nervous anymore with golf now, like that he has cancer and it's like almost terminal at this point. He said he's way past his expiration date. So he's just gonna go out there and play in the PGA Tour, and just let it all loose. So
pretty good bucket list.
I think everybody's gonna be rooting for him this week
awesome.
and beyond. So that'd be pretty cool to see him even just like make the cut. So
that'd be crazy. Like having stage 4 cancer and making the cut at like a professional golf tournament. Like what? Even if he did that at, like on the Korn Ferry Tour, it'd be like what?
Yeah,
like that's absolutely ridiculous. At 53.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll hear a lot about it in the broadcast and everything too. But that's a really, really cool story. Something like that. You don't see that every day, especially that's like what makes golf like so just like unique. Because like you wouldn't be able to do that in any other sport at age 53 and come out and compete in a professional golf tournament at the highest level. It's pretty awesome.
So he's teeing off in the last tee time with Thigala, Michael Sims, who's also another Bermuda native, and him. So
I thought you were about to say you made it sound like there was going to be a fourth there.
Yeah,
I was like,
I was, you know what? Because on the list there's like six 205 tee times because like 3 of them start on the front, 3 of them start on the back. So I was like a little confused.
Yeah, you could probably like rewind that and look at my face, and I'd be like you, because it sounded like you're about to say a fourth person. I have a question for you guys before we get into like the course preview and skins and everything for the Bermuda Championship. So I want you guys to pull up the PGA Tour schedule. It's just like on the app or on the internet.
I know. I can know where you're going with this. But...
And I want you to tell me when it is that we start like. Obviously, we're a big golf podcast, but like even the biggest of golf fans, like the ZOZO this week, like the Bermuda Championship, those are not the most fun tournaments to watch, like or like to really even tune into all that much. Like, yeah, we watch it because we're golf fans, but where do you see that happening on the schedule officially?
I mean, this is easy. I don't even have to look at the schedule. It's the Century Tournament of Champions. It happens January 6th, I believe. So it's the start of a new year. It's the Tournament of Champions is in Hawaii. Like you're here in the middle of the winter, and you're like, I wish I was in Hawaii. And it's probably the best field in golf, I would say, almost. I mean, besides like a major.
Limited. Yeah, it's very limited though.
And then like after that, you have the Sony Open, another one in Hawaii, and then you come back to the California kind of swing, and that's kind of when the season starts for me.
I would agree with that. I would agree with like the Century Tournament champions. Like you're in January, you really want to get out and play golf, but it's 20 degrees outside and it kind of sucks. But I'm gonna go with the Hero World Challenge. Kind of gets the golf world back on the map. I feel like just because probably not. There's no Tiger this year, obviously, but best players like you're actually watching the best. It's kind of like a lesser version of the Tournament Champions because it's like very, very tiny field, and obviously not in Hawaii. It's not primetime golf like the Tournament Champions, but it's the best golfer. All the best golfers in the world are invited. Like it's like the who's who of who's there. You can't watch second that and be like, who's this guy hitting the shot? Who's this guy competing? So I don't know.
I mean, I will say, I think some people might say like, oh, the Farmers Insurance or the AT&T Pebble Beach, because that's kind of like the end of football season. So like, I guess you'll have the Super Bowl in the same weekend as the AT&T Pebble Beach, and then after that you have the
waste management.
Waste management is kind of like the start of the season for some people.
I kind of agree. Farm insurance.
Yeah, I love the Farmers. Farmers that's probably bigger than Century. But Century comes first, but the Farmers is bigger than that.
Because Century is like it's like fun to watch every time because all the champions from the past years like very good golfers. But then like the Sony Open like kind of dips back down a little bit. The American Express is like I remember the American Express last year was actually pretty interesting. But I'd say generally where my season actually begins would be the Farmers Insurance because that's when I start like really like watching like at least like two to 3 days of the golf, and I watched like the full Sunday round.
And then you have a pretty good swing of events, kind of all the way up until the Puerto Rico Open. I guess the Arnold Palmer is the same weekend as that, so that's a good tournament as well. Puerto Rico
Open's an off event though.
Yeah, and then in March you have the Players, and then the majors start coming around. So like that's a good starting point. The Farmers, Century a little bit before that.
Farmers, Waste Management, Genesis, Riviera is awesome.
I think we could all agree though, like the next like I don't know 3 or 4 tournaments, not really that good.
Well, let me say, all right, let me ask you this: like you're looking at the PGA Tour schedule, why in the world is this tournament worth as many FedEx Cup points as the CJ Cup and when Rory won, or any other tournaments?
I don't know. Are they expecting a better field? I don't know. Like I feel like a really top golfer could come play in this event, win this event, and get a bunch of FedEx Cup points. But
oh yeah, like if that's probably what Patrick Reed's doing. He's probably come over here like, oh, I'm just gonna get a leg up on everyone and get high up in the FedEx Cup and just play.
Yeah, if he just comes like top 20, like top 30, like that's a lot of points still.
Yeah, and like it's the same distribution of points. It seems like as they're giving out the same amount of points in this tournament as they are at the Waste Management and the Farmers, yet the purse is $600,000 less.
I guess that encourages people to play.
The winner's purse is $600,000.
So I do like that.
Kind of same thing, but that purse is way down the list too.
But the Puerto Rico Open happens at
it's the same week as Arnold
Palmer. So
I didn't see that.
That's why the field's usually weak in that.
Still though, five like this should not be worth 500 FedEx Cup points total, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the FedEx Cup, the whole FedEx Cup thing kind of needs a bit of an overhaul. Maybe not an overhaul is probably not the right word, but like somebody needs to like look at it and like pretty much just say what you just said. Like why are these tournaments worth the same amount as these tournaments? Yeah, I mean, conversation for another day, I guess, when we get closer to the FedEx and we're wondering why like so-and-so's in the top 30.
Yeah.
That being said, do you guys want to get into skins?
Yeah, sure. But first, let's talk a little bit about Roback.
You probably noticed us wearing some new Roback merch over the past few episodes, whether it was the hat both me and Jake are wearing right now. Trevor has one as well. A pullover or a collared shirt. We're partnering with Roback in 2021, and we couldn't be more excited. So head to the link in our bio, add the Roback merch you want, and you'll get 15% off just by using the link. So enjoy and crave activity.
So skins, we have the Bermuda Championship this week. We're playing at Port Royal Golf Club. It's par 71. It's only 6,800 yards, so one of the shorter courses on tour, almost like described as like a pitch and putt for the pros. But a Robert Trent Jones design. I mean, scores are pretty dependent on wind and weather, and the forecast actually calls for high winds and thunderstorms this week, so that should be interesting.
That could make this tournament actually incredibly more entertaining.
Yeah,
It probably
I mean,
would.
you like seeing guys play in bad weather, but we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. It could all of a sudden be like all
Like,
sunshine.
the best thing that could happen to this tournament is like 35-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah,
Because it would be entertaining to watch guys try to make par.
I mean, the course is 6,800 yards. Like I played a course longer than that last week.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not in the water and it's not winds are not howling and it's
So,
not
like,
PGA
that's
Tour
like
conditions.
a
But
175-yard hole into like a 210 hole sometimes, or it depends. But
yeah. I mean, but yeah. So only 3 players in the top 50 are playing this week, which is kind of crazy. I think it's what was it? Patrick Reed, Matthew Fitzpatrick, and Christian Bezuidenhout are the only 3 players in the top 50 playing this week. Yeah, I mean, the last 2 winners actually had only made 1 cut in their previous 5 starts before winning this. That would be Brendan Todd and Brian Gay. I think Brian Gay was 1 for his last 5, and Brendan Todd was 0 for his last 5 coming into this tournament. So kind of random when it comes to picking somebody who's going to win this event. I mean, key stats, I would look at driving accuracy. I mean, distance isn't really going to be an issue. Especially since it's a really short course. I mean, strokes gain approach, maybe even like wedge game, because there's going to be a lot of wedges this week.
yeah.
And eagles gain, because those par 5s are prime scoring holes. I mean, they're reachable in 2 for pretty much everybody in the field. So those are probably the key stats to look at.
awesome. So who wants to start this week?
I'll start this week. Pat actually got a skin last week. I think Adam Schenk finished in the top 40, so Pat's up to 5 skins.
I think most of my skins have honestly come from winners.
Yeah,
They're all like one. They're all like worth like 1 skin.
Yeah. Pat never wins like 5 skins in one. It's only just 1 singular skin.
All luck.
Yeah, but I'll go first. My winner, I'm going a little random here. The research doesn't totally back it, but Guido Migliazi, he's plus 4,000. This is his first event back in the U.S. in a while, and it kind of fits the trend of the whole missed cuts thing. He's missed his last 2 cuts in Europe, so, I mean, usually I would go off of form, but kind of the opposite effect here. He's not super accurate off the tee, but he does hit a lot of greens in regulation, and, I mean, he's a guy who could play in the elements, so if it's raining, if it's windy, I could kind of back Guido to play pretty well in those elements. And then my best bet, I'm going to go with Hayden Buckley, top 30. I mean, he started off his PGA Tour career, like, really well. He's super accurate off the tee and also not really short at all. He's a pretty long hitter for being that accurate off the tee. And his scoring average has been in the top 10 this year. He's 35th in strokes gained approach so far. So, like, I wouldn't even be surprised if he wins. So, Buckley, top 30.
I did not see that you picked him top 30, but I picked him as my winner. He kind of like when I was looking at the odds, I didn't want to pick like, Matthew Fitzpatrick or Christian Bezuidenhout because I just don't think or Patrick Reed, like guys don't like that. I feel like just don't win the Bermuda. Right. But the name Hayden Buckley, like a newer guy on tour. You also look like at a Guido Migliazi. That was the other one that leapt off the page. I think like a Patrick Rogers. Like those are the type of guys that jump off the page for me. And I think 2,500, along with all those things that you just said, makes Hayden Buckley a pretty good bet this week.
Yeah, he just started off on fire.
I like that.
Now, I did kind of just trip Christian Bezuidenhout there, but I do
Gesundheit,
of course. I like him to come top 20. I think minus 145. I mean, I got to do what I can to get a skin. It's minus 150. But actually, you know what? Maybe I should just start messing around with my skins. I don't want. I'll give you guys some value bets now that I can't win off my skins. I think I might actually just start going with some value. So
scratch that.
We're gonna scratch that actually, and because I wanna start giving you guys some better picks here.
You want me to go while you find something?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go my winner, Russell Knox. Always good in strokes gained approach and driving accuracy is plus 4,000. He's probably one of the better known players in this field even. But you look at the tournaments this past year and He's always finishing plus in strokes gained approach, always finishing plus in driving accuracy. It seems like not the longest hair of the ball, but that doesn't really matter here. So I like him this weekend. He's only made his cut 2 out of the last 6 times he's played. So he's on form for the Bermuda Championship, it sounds like. And my best bet is Mita Pereira, top 20 at minus 125. Like he's kind of like in the corner, playing really well on those. This is almost like Corn Ferry type of field, like maybe a little bit better than that, like with the quality of players in there. So I like him to rise up in this smaller field and play really well. He's also great strokes gain approach and pretty good accuracy as well. So
I have mine. We're gonna go with value with a Grayson Sig top 10 bet at plus 450.
Okay.
Grayson Sig is somebody who is recently on the GM Golf YouTube page. Him and Keith Mitchell played a 2v2 scramble against Garrett and Grant, and they always the guys on their channel always, like the PGA Tour players, always get a bump. Like Joel Damon
GM Golf bump
was on their channel. Next week goes out and wins his first PGA Tour event. Keith Mitchell, right after that Grayson Sig and Keith Mitchell match, goes on and comes like top 3 at the tournament that was right before the ZOZO that I am now blanking on. Do you remember, Jeek? It was
Was it the Shriners?
It was the Shriners.
Okay.
And now Grayson Sig is going to continue that trend. Top 10 plus 450. Maybe even sprinkle a little winner bet on him.
I like that.
8-1.
The GM Golf bet.
Now, I will say, do you think there's a Pin High podcast bump? I mean, we had Danny McCarthy on, and I'm pretty sure he finished in the top 3 in the Corn Ferry Tour, like his next tournament. So, we almost had Will Zalatoris on. And he finished second in the Masters.
He won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. So I mean, there might be a Pin High podcast.
There's a Pin High podcast bump for sure.
Yeah.
That being said, I do have a first round leader. Adam Hadwin. I'm gonna go with the first round leader. There's no odds yet, but probably around plus 4,000. Just feels like a guy that could be in the first round lead for this tournament.
There's
good putter.
Yeah, there's a few weeks here, obviously, that just kind of don't have great tournaments. But there's a big gap in between the QB shootout and the Century. It's like December 12th to January 6th.
This is the Hero World Challenge is before the QB shootout, right?
Yeah. And the QB is a three-day event that's that's teams. So I say could try to,
Yeah, I saw Matt Kuchar.
And getting them on the pod for that time during the holidays. Or like we can record those whenever and try to get them out in that and just save them for that time. But we'll see. So on that note, let's get inside the clubhouse. This week we're doing the par 3 of best golf names.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I think the best golf name right now is Cole Hammer. Love that golf name.
Yeah, that's a really good golf name.
All right, I'll go second.
I like that. Yeah.
I feel like it'd be hard not to say Smiley Kaufman.
I was looking through for my work. I was looking through Corn Ferry Tour qualifiers, like first stage, second stage, and I'm looking for guys from Connecticut and see if there's anyone there. Smiley Kaufman shot 9 over par in his first round in the second stage and withdrew after that. Second stage of Corn Ferry Tour qualifying.
You hate to see that.
Yeah. So I get 2, right? Snake draft. I mean, Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
That's the best name in golf. That's the best name in golf. And I will go with Boo Weekly.
That's a good one.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's also
it's a very memorable name.
Those 2 names are right at the top when you type in best PGA Tour names. So
I had to find a list, and I like that one stuck out to me. So
they're both in like the top 5.
Well, Tiger was an easy one.
Is it me next?
Yeah, it's you now. You got one.
So I'm going with Sangmoon Bay.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Great name. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's my turn next. I have a long list here, but I'll leave some for honorable mentions. I think I'll go with Bronson Burgoon. I like that name.
Another good one.
Alliteration in the name,
Yeah.
You like that? I guess a little biased. My winner pick this week, Guido Migliazi. That's just a great name.
That's a
Another good
fantastic
one.
Guido. Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know how I missed that. Yeah. Okay. And then my last one is Kiradek I always used to say it as Kiradek Alpha Phi Barn Rat.
Alpha Phi Barn Rat. Moon Bay is in the field this week. That's kind of wild.
He is?
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought he's been disappeared. I know he did like military service, I think, but he was like, I haven't heard of him in years.
Then you got your last one.
Yeah. The Tiger's obviously a nickname, so I'm gonna go with the nicknames. I'm gonna go with Andrew Johnston and Beef.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite one. What happened? I think he's still on like I've seen him on the European tour every now and then. Like I'll look over at the TV and I'm like, oh, it's Beef. He's still doing his thing. Still looks the exact same as he did, however many years ago, 5 years ago.
Interesting.
I have a bunch of honorable mentions here. I mean, this one kind of like Tiger Woods. I mean, Bubba Watson. I feel like Bubba. I mean,
Kramer Hickok.
Bubba Watson. Kramer Hickok.
Cameron Champ is a great golf name. I mean,
yeah,
the Champ.
That's really Cameron Champ.
Seamus Power. That's a pretty good one. Matthew Wolf is a good name.
You know who I just saw in the field this week that it has to do with Cole Hammer, not Cole Hammer. Like, not, I almost said the kid's name. Austin Eckroat. He is not.
Yeah, that's a.
I also have I have Doc Redman on my list. I have Robert Rock on my list.
Robert Rock.
Yes, it's an interesting name. And then I went down onto the European Tour. I got way to the bottom of the European Tour, and there's a guy named Graham Storm. So shout out Graham Storm.
Great. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I like Ches. I like I don't know.
Ches Reeves, obviously a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good one. I'm a big Xander Schauffele kind of guy. Love that name.
Do you guys have worst names in golf prepared?
Worst names? Adam Schenk.
Yeah, that's the number one. Top one on my list is Adam Schenk. I don't really like Fred Funk. Is a weird name.
Yeah.
Richard Bland.
I don't like Dylan Fratelli. That name just doesn't do it for me.
There's a guy on the European Tour named Jack Senior, and that always confuses me because it just feels like we're talking about Jack Senior,
Or Matthias Schwab.
Yeah, so
Matthias Schwab and Robert Streb are the same person to me.
Yeah,
but they're very different, obviously.
Well, that's a good name, Greg Chalmers.
Greg Chalmers,
like Mario Chalmers,
Miami legend. Chalmers. That reminds me of Stephen A. Smith. I'm just screaming about Mario Chalmers.
Yeah, so that's kind of it, right? Anything else?
Louis Oosthuizen, another good name.
Yeah, Louis Oosthuizen.
So who has the best name out of all the names we just mentioned? Who has the best name in golf?
It's a good point because you have to pair it with also being good at the same time.
I think Matthew Wolf is that's a really good one that I missed, that we missed. That's an awesome name.
I'd say Matthew Wolf might be the best name in golf if you pair it with being good.
Yeah, I would Matthew Wolf or Cameron Champ.
Tiger.
I think
I'm not
Champ.
Including Tiger.
Cameron Champ's up near the top, I feel like.
I agree with that. Cameron Champ is really cool.
If you're putting together pedigree and name.
Yeah.
The Mayakoba.
The Mayakoba. That's actually not.
Is Tony Finau playing? He can win.
Maybe, yeah, it's in Mexico. Victor Holland won it last year.
He did.
Yeah, that was an asterisk to the end of the curse.
Yeah, asterisk.
Anyway.
We're just gonna keep adding asterisks until he actually wins a major or something like that.
Yeah.
Then the asterisks will be gone.
I guess there's some news I randomly stumbled across today, but it's been brought up in between us before. But I think Golficity has some event at Chelsea Piers. If any of you are in the Fairfield County area,
Yeah, November 3rd, I believe. Go to the Golficity website and sign up for that.
yeah, so go sign up for that. I'm pretty sure it's just free. You get to go to Z Strict for free, right?
That's pretty
think so,
cool.
And
yeah.
Z Strict, for anyone not knowing, is just like an indoor simulator place at Chelsea
When is
Piers.
It's actually quite class strict.
Oh,
Uh,
it's
They have
It's-
the floors that like rotate with like the ball, and then they have like
Oh, I do
something
remember
that simulates I think sand, something that simulates rough. It's pretty cool.
it is.
When
pretty,
is it?
I think November 3rd.
But anyway, let's get out of here. Got the Mayakoba next week. Peace out.